All right, we are live. Tap in Birdie, Masters Week. It's been a while, Andy. Happy to have you back on the pod. How is Masters Week treating you thus far?
It's good, man. Yeah, I haven't talked to you in forever. Well, I'm just kidding. Obviously, we are in a group chat that sends 800 messages per day. But it's good to be back podcasting with you, my friend. I would say my Masters week is it's going pretty well. I told you I had a bit of a come to Jesus moment over the weekend. I got hit with a dose of hashtag perspective,
Yeah, yeah.
and I'm enjoying the hell out of Masters Week. I think we're doing a good job with content. I'm enough. You're enough. I don't know who's going to win.
Therapy. I don't know who's going to win either. I
It's
don't know
it's
who's going to
probably
win
not going to
either.
be the player that I pick, but that's okay too.
Do you feel okay on the right? We just pointed out, never seen Andy on the right before for the pod. I feel like I'm kind of out alphaing you in the podcast space right now, and I'm kind of enjoying it.
I know I'm not used to this side of the pod by any means, but you're the host. I'm just along for the ride. And I think you're a phenomenal host. I just want to say, um, yeah, we've got the Wyndham Clark LACC ball in play for me. I watch this show every single week. It's my favorite golf podcast,
Oh, come
and
on.
I'm so honored to join you on one of my favorite weeks of the year. Hopefully, you can help me narrow down the betting board. I'm actually really excited to talk it through with you. I didn't do a Sunday pod, and I had a lot of people ask me, like, who is
DMs are
your
flooded. Are there reports that your DMs were flooded?
DMs are flooded, which I genuinely appreciate, because the one thing that I certainly know that I don't know how to do anymore is get the winner right.
Yeah.
But maybe our fortunes can change this week and we can figure out. I've got a lot of trends and stuff to work through. I don't
Yeah.
know if you're a big trends guy.
Huge
Um,
trend guy this week.
but yeah, I'm excited to dive into it, man. How do you feel about the Masters this year? It's different this year because last year we were doing this. You were talking to me about 4-1 Scotty Scheffler correctly, I might add.
Yeah, it is kind of weird today, I might add, because it's early enough in the week where we're not kind of burnt out by Masters content, but we don't really have a lot of like stuff to go off of. No tee times, only one interview. No one really played today at Augusta National. Like, it was completely rained out. So I think the Monday pod is good because,
Yeah.
we're kind of early in the week and like fresh in our thoughts and everything, but there's nothing's really has fundamentally changed thus far in the week. Like, we don't really have a lot to, go off of. So
There's been a couple nukes, but like nothing Satan 2 level that's like
yeah.
blowing up a foreign country, right?
Yeah, no,
Nothing
and I
nothing that's getting leaked to the Atlantic or anything.
no, no, and I will say, we would love to have you at ISN. I mean, what Steve did last week, Utah Sticks article, your DFS preview, your course breakdown, like, it absolutely pays for itself. Steve knows, like, we just have so many great people at ISN, and I
Never
think,
hire your friends, they say.
and Steve, knowing the weather and course conditions that well and saying, yo, these lines on FanDuel are just completely off, and betting everyone's over and going 19-1, like, there's no other place where you're going to have that level of detail, and it just pays for itself, not even a question. And I mean, even what, how it started versus how it's going now, like adding six articles on it's unbelievable, like how you and we found this guy Utah Stick. We will have on course coverage tomorrow from our guy Alex Jones. And we'd love to have you over at ISN. I hope I did a good enough sell job.
You did an amazing sell job. A lot of this stuff, I've had this vision for what it could be for like 5 years. I've kind of been working towards, you know, I, this has been a plan of mine, as you know, a dream of mine for a really long time. That's why I wanted you to be a part of it, because you were there for me with the beginning when we first started talking golf betting. And I think you and I know, from when did we first start talking? 4
It was
years
like
ago?
21. Yeah, it was like 21.
Yeah, so from 4 years of sweating golf bets together, and just being heavily, heavily online to a fault, and on Twitter, um, you pick up a lot of things, right? You pick up, like, you know, what people talk about and what people want, and what works and what doesn't work. And the goal was always to create a community that is like providing obviously the best information out there, which I think that we absolutely accomplish. But obviously, it's just a fun place to hang out with all of the people that I would normally be sweating golf with. So, yeah, I mean, now it's at the point where I think if you don't have it and all of these other DFS players are using it, you are at a bit of a disadvantage. So, we would love to have you check us out for the Masters, and that'll hit my marketing quota for the week, and we
Yeah,
can dive
I
right
think we're
into the
good.
board.
I think we're good there. So this week, this year, we obviously have no Tiger. I kind of like a no Tiger Masters, no like extra storylines not needed, no extra TV coverage. Love Tiger, but I think a non-Tiger Masters is pretty solid. I'm happy about that. I'm fine to kind of start with weather and course conditions and kind of what we're seeing earlier in the week. I think that a lot of people, myself included, are kind of dubbing this the colder Masters. Definitely going to be some lower temps for the week. But luckily, from what I'm seeing, I don't think this is going to be a 2023 Masters with a ton of delays. I think there's some rain on Friday early, but other than that, looks like a pretty low wind, cooler Masters. Not a lot of polos, a lot of Q-zips. So definitely something to factor into your models this week. You gotta have guys that can play in the cold. Obviously, Patrick Cantlay, just immediate cross off if he's gonna be in a Q-zip. But what are you kind of seeing from a weather course condition standpoint? I know you're a little bit in the camp of it's gonna play pretty long this year.
I think it's going to play pretty long, but I think it's going to be pretty easy.
Yeah,
I don't think that it's going to be as difficult as the last couple of majors. I mean, you just saw what happens when you get a soft golf course and there isn't a lot of wind. And I'm worried that, or not worried, I should say, but I'm just not seeing enough wind that
yeah,
leads me to believe that the place is going to get completely dried up like we've seen the past couple of years. The last 4 years, it's played between a stroke over par and 1.85 strokes over par. I would tell you right now, as we sit here on Monday evening, that it's going to play closer to a half a stroke over par.
yeah. And
So
last
minus
year,
15.
we had that Friday round where it was really impossible to go low, and that just set up scoring so difficult for the week where I really don't know what day is going to be, the most difficult. None look that bad, and from what I'm seeing Friday, it's going to be soft in the morning. It seems like more of the rain is coming earlier in the
Yeah.
morning on Friday. So, I mean, that's going to make it play a little bit easier. And, with the highest gusts up to around like 13, 14 miles an hour, really all week, like I'm with you, kind of that I do think it will be on the easier side. Obviously, it's not going to get up to any crazy numbers, but I do think it could kind of get back to those years where the Wyndham
Thir-
is around.
13, 14 under. So
Yeah.
is that changing the type of player that you're looking for this week? Like, are you, I know that you're not a huge models guy, but are you crossing off or at least giving a demerit to somebody like Russell Henley or Corey Connors, who isn't as long off the tee as a Rory or a Scotty?
Yeah, I mean, I do think that, you know, the difference in my head between -9 -8 winning score and like -13. It doesn't really cross a lot of guys off for me. Like, oh, he can't get to 13 here, but he could get to 8. So
Yeah.
that's where it's kind of a bit tough for me. But I do think that, you know, like you said, it's going to be a little bit of a wetter golf course and a little bit colder, and it's just going to be harder to carry the ball that far, and you're going to have so many approach shots from over 150 that, yeah, I do think it's a knock, but it's not a complete cross-off like it would be for the U.S. Open. So I think Russell Henley has a better chance to win Augusta than at Oakmont, if that, makes sense. And I think, you would kind of agree. I haven't bet a ton of guys, but I don't think it's an absolute 100% cross off.
Agree with you, but like I'm not betting Ross. Are you?
Yeah, I don't think so. I'm not. He's definitely not an immediate cross off where I have a lot of guys that are. I do think, as you like to say, his path here. It's not that they can't, finish top 5, but the path is just that much harder. But I think last year, 2 guys in the final group are not absolute, bombers off the tee. Obviously, there are 2 of the best iron players in the world. I think that if you don't have that absolute pop off the tee, you just have to be absolutely elite with your mid to long irons or with your short game. And I think you would kind of agree there to a certain extent.
I mean, that's a good bet, Dave. I'm not gonna fight you on Russ 70-1. That's good CLV, certainly. I wouldn't say that he scares me as much given these course conditions now that, it's going to be 8,200 yards basically with the way that they mow the fairways. I'm seeing in the chat here, my ADHD is getting, I get distracted when I see all the chats start to come in.
People pleaser. Like if someone asks a question, like I want to answer.
I do try and get to all the questions. Rory drifting to plus 760. Isn't he the name that we probably have? I mean, unless there's more stuff on the golf course that you want to do. This is my transition into talking about the betting board because there are a lot of guys that I want to make sure we touch on here. I mean, could you think of more ideal conditions for Rory McIlroy than the conditions that we're laying out for you?
I think that if you took you just looked at the last 5 Masters winners and you looked at this odds board without knowing who they are, I think that the person that it would point to most is Rory McIlroy this year. When you look at what DJ did before he won the Masters, he won 3 events. Decky, kind of an outlier. Scotty wins twice before he wins the Masters. Rahm wins 3 times before he wins the Masters. Scotty wins twice before he wins the Masters. It seems recently the biggest key to success at Augusta and actually winning and putting on the green jacket is winning golf tournaments on the PGA Tour. And Rory has won before the Masters before. He's won a couple players, but he's never won twice. And he's never looked like the best. Maybe in 2019 he was the best player on the PGA Tour. But I'm kind of in the Solly camp of this is Rory McIlroy's best chance to win Augusta in a really long time. You have an injured Scotty. You have question marks about a lot of people surrounding him.
Scotty's injured?
What?
Scotty's
coming off an injury.
Okay.
He put his hand through a wine glass.
Yeah. I think Scotty's healthy, right?
Yes, but he's still coming off an injury.
Sure.
To a certain extent.
Yeah.
So to me, I'm I don't think I'm gonna bet Rory, but I do think that
you haven't crossed him off yet.
Have not. I could potentially, if he gets up to 8, bet him. I could, but I don't know if I really could do it, but I absolutely love his chances, and I really do think that this is his best chance to win Augusta in a really long time, and I hope to the high heavens that he contends and puts himself in the mix.
I agree. I'm rooting for him. Would you take him over Scotty in a matchup? I don't know if that matchup's out yet.
I don't think that there's any logistical reason to take that other than rooting for Rory at the Masters. I think, at the other 3 majors, sure, but what Scotty's done here, consistently. It's just I personally do not think that he's winning. I don't think he's going to win 3 out of 4. I don't think he was in the form that he was in the last 2 years. He played well here last year, just immediate cross off for me. But
By the way, you hit him last year.
yeah, but I'm not. There's no vicking. Like there's
Yeah.
nothing to be vicked about it. But I just think he was playing way better last year than he is this year, and I do think that his like. What do you think in a 100% real world? What's the worst Scotty can finish this week?
I mean, he can finish the same that he finished at Pinehurst if he loses like 6, 7 strokes putting, but I don't think he's gonna. I mean, I am if you're asking me, if I have an outright card of 4 or 5 jabronis that I'll probably settle on, who am I more afraid of right now based on the golf course conditions that I'm seeing? I would say Rory.
Really?
I think Rory provides a bigger threat. Sky's not winning 3 Masters in 4 years.
I
think
agree.
he's
I tweeted it
yeah.
months ago. Only Jack Nicklaus has ever done that.
I think he's gonna finish top 5 or top 10.
Yeah, I cannot see him finishing worse than T12, and I think
Yeah.
T12 would shock me if he finished T12.
Yeah, I agree. I don't see any good reason to not believe that he's going to, be relevant in this tournament. But I feel pretty similarly about Rory's floor. I would. It was the same. I think when you get a soft golf course, what happened at Houston is often going to happen with Rory McIlroy. Is like he is going to give himself so many opportunities over the course of a golf tournament to score on some of the longer par 4 holes that other players, that those aren't going to be scoring opportunities for them the way that they will be for Rory McIlroy. And I think when you give Rory McIlroy a soft golf course like this, it's and he's hitting the irons the way that he's hitting them, it's going to be difficult for him to not sleepwalk his way into the top 10 the same way that you saw at Houston. I think both of them are going to probably be relevant in the golf tournament, and yet I'm not betting either one of them. Rory 8-1 is like a good number, though. I don't know why that's moving backwards. It should be moving forwards.
Yeah,
It's just I think it's a bookmaker. What happens is they open low and then he'll take.
So the thing with bookmaker, no, but where are you at with the mental side with Rory? Because I do think he's better set up for success at U.S. Opens and PGA Championships. But where are you at on the mental side of him winning Augusta?
I'm going to miss it, but I don't believe that he's mentally incapable of doing it. I think that he is more likely to win a U.S. Open or Quail Hollow until you gave me these Masters course conditions. Like, the golf course that Rory is going to walk onto on Thursday from a data standpoint, from a required skill standpoint, is every bit as good of a golf course for him on paper than Quail Hollow or Oakmont is. I mean, it's valuing the exact same type of skill set. So, I mean, I'm just as afraid of him as I am at any other major in terms of the golf shots that he's going to be able to hit when it's soft. But I don't need to have an outright on him to.
I feel the same exact way where truly, if Rory's in the mix on Sunday at Augusta, it will be the golf story since Tiger Woods won this event 6 years ago. Like, not even a question, and it will be unbelievable, and I would want nothing more in the world. Truly.
Do you think it's in play that he, chokes and misses the cut like Portrush?
I think he 100% can finish T34.
Yeah.
He
can
even,
for sure.
Like, not even a question.
Yeah. Would that surprise you?
No.
I'd be surprised.
Okay. Yeah, no, I would rather bet Rory this week. I just don't think Scotty's winning. I would be totally. It doesn't really make sense, but I don't think Rory has a better chance to win this golf tournament. But I really am. I do not think Scotty is winning this year. I feel pretty confident about that. So next guy on the odds board, I know you're floating around betting him a little bit. Played in the final group here last year. Has statistically, in a lot of regards, been one of the best players on the PGA Tour, if not the best. Two-time major champion. Won a ton early in his career. He's 18-1 on DraftKings. Currently the most tipped golfer. Are you going to get there with Colin Morikawa this year?
Is Morikawa really most
Yes,
tipped?
by a lot. Yes. Shocked me a little bit too. Yes.
People just think that he's going to win the Masters for the first time in 500 plus days. I mean, I get it from a statistical standpoint, but how many of these people that are betting Colin at the Masters did this at the Players? Is my question.
I think the Players is definitely a better golf course for him. I don't think there's, especially this year. To me, Colin, I'm not out on, like, he's obviously going to win again. I think that he'll knock off, maybe, Philly Cricket or Memorial, or, maybe has a chance at, one of the later majors. But I think that he's due for a little bit of a regression at Augusta.
Yeah.
He's, we've joked about it a lot, but it's very hard to contend back-to-back years. And, we talked about it. There are only a few guys that could really win last year. He lost by 7. So how much he was in contention, really. But I think it's really, really hard to... You just look at Brooks, like one of the greatest major players of all time, played in the final group, had a really, really great chance to win at Augusta last year, and just throws up an absolute stinker the next year when everyone thinks he's going to get 10. I do not think Colin is going to win. I'm not betting him. I think 18-1 is a totally fair price. I just think that he's due for a little bit of regression in actually winning majors. I've been wrong about that before, but I just think 3 majors and that short of amount of time is, I don't know, I just don't think he could do it.
Feels very much like Xander last year, right?
Exactly.
Like
100%.
Yeah, I think he's going to finish 8th,
Okay.
which is exactly what Xander finished last year, solo 8th. Yeah, I mean, you remember last year, Hideki and Brooks were most tipped. Do you remember this?
Xander was most tipped last year.
Yeah, it was Xander. You're right. It was Xander, and then
Brooks was a very popular bet at Augusta last year, like not even a question.
And so was Hideki. You don't remember Hideki as well?
No, Hideki was as well. Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm just like, I know that Colin is the most perfect, like makes the most sense, checks all of the boxes. I will be honest with you, especially after what happened at the Players Championship, I'm floored that he's most tipped. I'm not floored that he is going to have high daily fantasy ownership, and hell, I may play him in DFS. I may even core him the same way that I did at the Players. I'm shocked he's most tipped. I will say that. Although I 18-1 is not bad. I mean, what's obviously hindsight is 2020. It's easy to say now, but Morikawa is like 12-1 at the Players, and he's 18-1 at the Masters with the live guys, but a field of half the size and better course history. It's a better number this week.
I agree.
Yeah,
I agree. And he's only 18-1 on DraftKings, so I think most of the other books are around 12-14, but I mean, that's out there. I mean, it's obviously a big difference, 12-18. So that's interesting to me. I know you said you watched some live golf. I know you're not a huge live golf guy, but you wanted to see how these live guys were suiting up for Augusta. You bet on Rahm 6-1. You might have spent the money for a second there looking at the live golf win probabilities that were showing up. Did you see enough from Rahm to win the Masters this year? Is he going to, are him and Scotty going to be, Arnold Palmer and Jack Nicklaus from the 70s, where they just kind of rotated when Masters?
I thought he looked terrible.
Okay.
I thought I turned it on because Kyle texted me and said, I've never watched live once this year. I turned it on and Kyle was like, Rahm's live favorite. And I actually was really enjoying watching it because Rahm was in the mix there for a little bit. Was Dean B was hitting some great golf shots, and then he really fell down the leaderboard down the stretch there as well. But there was nothing that I saw in Rahm that made me feel confident that he's going to go out there and win a golf tournament. I mean, he played fine, but he didn't remotely go out and win that thing. Were you watching? Did you watch the final round?
I did. I was. It was on my second screen. I was kind of watching towards the end, but Rahm was kind of out of it by then.
Yeah, I didn't think he looked great at all. Yeah, he was kind of dead by then, but I mean, no, I'm not inspired to bet Rahm 20-1. Are you?
No, I'm not really. And I think, you were on him in 2023. You kind of got your Rahm.
Yeah, I think you're right about that. There's no need to go back there.
Yeah. And he's popular as well.
Is he?
Yeah, he is. He's definitely, he'll be on the chart. Shout out GTC and Andy. But I know we've kind of talked about it before, but I think that we are due for a more mid-tier golfer to win the Masters this year. The Sergio, Reed, Decky types. I think kind of those mid-tier, but you think, okay, they can win a major. They could be a major champion, can win at Augusta. I think we're due for that. We've had a ton of number one players in the world win this golf tournament over the past couple of years. And I just think that, obviously the course sets itself up for, the best player in the world to win. But, I'm not going to say Mike Weir is going to win, a Mike Weir type, but I just think I'm looking for more people down the board, I think.
I think I agree with you. I mean, I think the main question for me at the top, which you don't really have to worry about too much because you're already holding a phenomenal future on him at 55-1. But I think if I made a bet under 30-1, it would probably be Justin Thomas. I mean,
I think we got to ride JT together, man. I think we got to get through this outright drought together.
Do you feel good? Like,
I do feel good about it.
Like, can I ask you a question though? When you close your eyes and like envision who's wearing the green jacket on Sunday, does JT come up? Like, do you see that? Because I don't really see it, but that could be because I'm in the dumps because the ball hasn't gone through the hoop in a while. But do you see that when you envision the 2025 Masters winner?
I think he fits the mold of a more mid-tier established major champion winning. I think he fits the mold of someone that's playing unbelievable golf right now and playing top 5 golf on the PGA Tour currently. Someone that's stiff contention in big tournaments. I think he checks the box, which you might not think of a top 10 in a major last year. I really like that. You really have to contend in a major recently to
yeah, I'm with you there on that trend.
Like I like that he played well at Valhalla. He has some good finishes here. I think that you take out kind of those down years. I think that people think JT is worse than he is because of his 2023 season. He is not that golfer in any way, shape, or form. Like, he is a completely different golfer than he was in 2023, and people still think he sucks. And, he had those really spike approach rounds early in the year at Torrey and Bay Hill. Long, difficult golf courses. He's a really good 150 to 200 player. The putter's good. The chipping's good. Like, obviously my biggest knock would be, I guess, that he missed the last 2 cuts at Augusta.
That's a big anti-trend.
Yeah.
Something about like Guy Ferber was the last guy to do it off back-to-back missed cuts, right? Something like that.
Maybe back-to-back, but people have missed the cut. But I just think, when you have a former number 1 player in the world that loses his form for a little bit, like that kind of, I don't know. I think it's a little bit of a different scenario with JT.
Do you think he's a 3 major guy?
Yeah, sure. Sure.
Do you want me to tell you what company he'd be on the pyramid if he got to 3 majors?
When you look at
I'm going to tell you who he'd pass on the period, and you tell me if he's in this company for you. If JT got to 3 majors, I mean, we're in Denny Shoot territory. I mean, 16 wins, 81 major starts. Were Patrick Harrington
JT is on par with Patrick Harrington,
a
100%.
top 40 player of all time? I mean,
But
Spieth is the main comp, really, right?
yeah,
And JT, if you at the beginning of their careers, if you said JT and Spieth are probably often thought in conversation of each other. I mean, Spieth has 3 majors, 4 runner-ups, 13 wins. JT has 15 wins, 2 majors. You know, he isn't won. I was on him for Southern Hills. This is the last time he's won.
yeah. That
It's a
does
long
worry me.
time
But
ago.
Decky's done it. Decky did it. Decky didn't win for a really long time and then won the Masters. So, like, I again, I am biased slightly because I bet him at 55-1 in December because I knew that he was not going to be 55-1 now, and he's a way better golfer than 55-1 at Augusta. But I think he'll be firmly in the mix, and I think JT's going to have a really good year. And honestly, if blank card, I'm probably betting JT 25, to be completely honest, genuinely.
Yeah,
And
because you know it's a bit of a different decision for me than it is for you.
Yeah,
I mean,
but
I would love to
I
bet
don't
JT
think
at 50-1.
I don't think you're going under 20.
No. Well, I mean, listen, I'm a certified data boy. Like I like Colin Morikawa a lot. I do.
Yeah.
My numbers see him as the I actually thought the player's number was too low and this number is a little too high. Like I would make Colin 14-1. So I actually
Bet it.
I actually think the 18-1 on Colin Morikawa is a good number.
It's probably a better number than JT 25 in terms of, you know, how they're playing. But look, again, I really like JT and I really feel good about it.
Morikawa's playing better than JT. He's not playing that much better.
I agree. Like they both haven't won. Like they both had close calls. Like, so, you know, I think JT's in a good headspace right now.
I think the biggest thing working for Morikawa over Justin Thomas is Justin Thomas has not shown consistently throughout the course of this season that he can consistently gain strokes off the tee.
Yeah, and I do think that JT is long enough to win Augusta. I do. This year I do.
Totally agree.
Like agree. That's not a concern for me. I might bet Xander.
I don't think this is his year here.
Agreed.
I don't think this is his year.
But I'm kind of.
I think it's a good low end DFS play for him to potentially win you $1 million in DFS if he finishes 4th. I don't think it's his year.
He's not. Would say he's not going to win 3 out of.
He's not winning. I'm telling you right now, it's not happening.
But to get a major champion at 22-1, who's coming off gaining like 12 strokes with his irons. That says
it's a good refrigerator bet.
A great refrigerator bet. I don't know if I'm going to get there, but I don't really have a lot of options. I like Xander.
I get it. This is partially a bet. Like you know that I am obviously care about the data, and I'm not a narrative bettor. I'm just playing out the narratives with you for fun to play devil's advocate. If Xander wins 3 out of the last 4 majors,
I came on TIB at the Open and I said Xander's not winning 2 majors this year. He's not winning 2.
I probably said I agree with you
100%. So I don't know. I don't think I'm going to be there, but I do like Xander. Are Bryson and Ludwig dead? Because I'm declaring Ludwig Jimmy Hoffa.
Natalie is hot. She had Rory at the Players, and she hit the winner at the Masters last year. So I think we do need to respect.
Give her flowers.
I think we do need to respect her. Yeah. With that being said, he contended last year. By the way, that trend makes sense.
It does. It's hard to contend year after year.
I don't think it's a bullshit trend by any means.
Not at all. Not at all.
I actually I think about. Dude, I went to the Masters last year and I need a fucking break.
Yeah.
Okay. Like contending every other year, I would be comfortable going to the Masters every other year for the rest of my life. Like I didn't want to go this year. I'm okay. I'm okay. I think that it's a big ask for Ludwig he also led the field in putting last year. Bryson with the soft golf course scares me. And I will say this about Bryson, because I wasn't on him at Pinehurst, and you were, and I had some questions about the golf course fit at Pinehurst. And I think at the end of the day, any golf course that you can win with your driver, that's a major championship, and that is driver heavy with a bunch of long irons. Doesn't matter what form he's in. Bryson has you can win the Masters with powerful driving. You just can do it. It's not quite in that US Open bucket yet, but like, you look at over the last 4 years, Brian, and you take the strokes gained of the winners between approach play and off the tee, it's the same thing for winners, right? So like, winning the Masters with elite approach play or powerful driving, it's basically been a wash. And Bryson can go out there any week on any golf course and gain 6-7 strokes off the tee. And he's going to have a big, remember that Thursday morning, Brian, when Bryson took the lead, there's a chance he's going to get 4 days of that.
Yep.
So what's the
Low
counter?
wind.
What's the counter to Bryson?
I don't necessarily have a massive,
just can't bet them all. He scares me now.
He's not a cross off. He's
you
not
can't cross him off.
Can't cross him off for me, and I think 20-1 is decent.
Is he winning 2 of the last 4 majors?
I think he can.
Who's more likely to win, Xander or Bryson?
That is very,
just
very
in terms of what makes sense narratively. I'm going to say,
I think Bryson's more likely.
I'm going to say it's a wash.
Okay.
I'm going to say Bryson.
It's very close for me.
I'm going to say Bryson, actually.
Okay. I'll go Xander.
Who should be a 3 major guy first, Bryson or Xander? Probably Bryson.
Maybe.
It's close.
I don't know.
It's close. That's why they pay us the big bucks.
That's why they pay us the big bucks. Neiman, I'm out on. I think most people are out on. BK, I need to see more.
Can we pause on Neiman for a second?
Yeah. Kyle said it's the worst bet in the history of golf.
I just want to say, I tuned into Live yesterday. I didn't know where to be found. I was looking. Dave has been telling me, you got to get a load of this Neiman kid. He's the best player in the world right now. I couldn't find him anywhere on the leaderboard in Doral. He's nowhere to be found. So I can't say that I caught much of what Neiman's been up to recently. I will say this about Joaquin Neiman. I think he's going to have a good major year. I just don't think he's going to skip a step. I don't think that Neiman is going to be. I don't think Neiman's going to shit the bed in majors this year.
Okay.
I don't think
PGA,
that's a super...
U.S. Open. One of these next 3, I think he contends.
Maybe this week. I'd play him at low ownership. I just don't think he's going to win. He's not a betting consideration for me.
Where are you at on your Cantlay 40-1 future? Are you
deader, Brian? That bet is so fucking dead that he was on the elevator down to see Jimmy Hoffa, and Jimmy wouldn't even give him the time of day.
Okay.
I mean, first of all, Cantlay, I just want to say I've been getting kicked in the nuts all year, stuff like this. Cantlay making an 8 on the final hole to finish outside the top 20 and lose all those points for me in DraftKings. That was like the money doesn't matter because who cares? Big units, small units, whatever. It was that kicked me in the fucking nuts. And that was, I think, what has to be the end of my relationship. I'm not a blacklist guy. You know what I mean? But like, holy shit, what the fuck was that, man?
Yeah.
Seriously, he missed 3 putts inside 3 feet over
Kinda
the last.
Had the yips going there.
He had the yips. You know me, Brian. I am not a big tilter in terms of what my golfers do. I get more tilted by stuff in the golf betting industry. Like the number one thing that tilts me this week more than anything that my golfer is going to do on the golf course is when people lie about their major futures cards, like, or tweet absurd shit or victory lap absurd shit. Like that's the type of shit that tells
I know.
When it comes to actual stuff that happens on the golf course, like they're fucking golfers. People have unrealistic expectations, like ridiculous shit's going to happen. But Cantlay last week, man, that was infuriating. And I don't know what to do with the guy. Do you think he has a chance to win the Masters this week? I
No,
thought that
he can't putt here. He like legitimately is.
he's a
awful
terrible
putting.
putter here. He hit, I mean, I said at Valero that Cantlay needed to hit shots of consequence. And Cantlay was relevant in that tournament on Saturday.
He was going to win. He was there.
I thought he was going to win. And the second, and it was his for the taking. And that was an embarrassing performance. So I don't know. I don't feel good about the 40-1, but because I'm a
transparency,
man of integrity, I'm going to keep the 40-1 on the card.
I think you should bet Lowry.
Yeah, probably.
Like playing really good. 8th at Valspar, 20th at the Players, 7th at API, 11th at the Cog, 2nd at Pebble. The irons have been hot. The putter hasn't been great, but he's putted well here in the past before. He could be a 2 major guy. Maybe.
You think he could be a 2 major guy?
Maybe. Yeah. Who
do you think's more likely to win this week, Fleetwood or Shane?
Shane by a lot.
By a lot.
I do. Are you floating around to Tommy?
No, I'm not floating. I think I was not. He took a blow. I had so much good for me last week in terms of like my DFS pool, and Tommy shooting 81 coupled with Cantlay, like just took it. It really hurt Brian. But I think Fleetwood's going to play well again this week.
Are you going to bet Shane?
You don't think
Are you going to bet Shane?
Yeah, probably. Maybe.
Okay.
I think he's in consideration. You think I should bet him?
If you can fit him, I think you should bet him.
Dave brings up a good point. Do you think that he can make enough putts down the stretch to win?
Possibly. He's shown putting upside, maybe.
Another good point by Devin. Do you see him as a 2 major guy?
Like, he's not in my head a 2 major guy.
He's a 1.5 guy, right?
He's a 1.5 guy.
Yeah.
But ZJ won 2 majors. Angel Cabrera won 2 majors.
Yeah, that's why he's a perfect 1.5 guy.
Yeah. We kind of talked about Russ.
I think
70.
I think that could end badly for people.
Okay, he did contend. He did play well last year, I think.
He was fine. Russ on an 8,000-yard golf course, I might add.
I mean, he just won Bay Hill.
Yeah, when it was firm and fast.
No, I like Russ. He played well in 23. Did not play well here last year. I like.
The year that he. When he in 2023 it was all short game and putting. Like he hasn't hit the ball at Augusta that well. I will be fair about this. I think that if you bet Russ at 70-1, you should be feeling good about that ticket. Yeah. That's a great number. Like you don't have to sell me on Russ's talent level. I've been saying he's a top 10
Some are saying you invented Russ.
Yeah, I mean, he led the field in ball striking at Troon. Russell Henley is at worst.
He won Troon.
Yeah, he could not make a putt on that Troon Sunday. Russell Henley
had him.
Is one of the 10 best golfers in the world right now, bar none. Just straight up, no caveats, no ifs, ands, or buts. He's one of the 10 best golfers in the world right now, and he has been for 2 years. I think I'm more in DFS. I think it seems like everybody is like centering around Bobby Mack and Russ as the 2 long shot guys that are going to win the Masters. And I think from a golf course fit standpoint, Bobby Mack makes way more sense than Russ.
Yeah.
Bobby Mack hits it 30 yards farther than Russ and is playing great golf right now and has good course history at Augusta. I don't think Bob Mack's going to win, but that's just
I think he can. I think Bob Mack can win.
I've been broken, so I don't think any of my guys are going to win, but I think I had to bet Bobby Mack because I believe in Stick. I believe in my info. I believe in my numbers. And I really think that being long is going to make a difference in this Masters, more so than other Masters.
I think Bob Mack will win a major in his career.
Agreed.
Like I'm not Devin pilling right now. Like I'm not Devin level with Bob Mack. Like I don't think he's the greatest thing since sliced bread, but lefties fuck here. He's fucked here in the past, has the distance off the tee, has, the ability to win golf tournaments. I think you bet him at 65-1. I like that bet.
I
First
think
round leader, top
from a
20.
logic perspective, based if the golf course is going to play the way that I think the golf course is going to play, it's the best bet on the board above 50-1.
Love it. I feel good about
Are you
that.
gonna bet? Are you gonna
I
bet
don't
Bob
think
Mack?
so. I could, maybe, possibly. I gotta really dive deep and, look at some
But
underlying.
you haven't crossed him out yet. He's on your short list.
Have not crossed him out yet. Is Zal? I don't think Zal's ready to win.
No.
A major.
Can I tell you who I really like though? But I
Who?
don't think he's gonna win. Min Woo.
Okay.
Based on the golf course fit, Brian.
Yes.
I don't think he's winning back to back either. Do you know how many times that over the last decade of majors, it's a good stat for you. And I know you're a big master stat guy. I have to go in 4 or 5 minutes anyway, because my computer's about to die. But how many times over the last decade has a player won the week before the Masters? And
Rory did it. Oh, before the Masters?
No. Any major.
Yeah, I know Rory did it. I know Phil did it.
Rory and Phil, that's it. Two
Yeah.
times in the last
Vicking.
decade.
I'm Vicking.
Yeah, you don't want to peak too early. So
yeah, I agree. But like the short game and putter and the driving distance, he can do it. And
such a good course fit.
If he's found something with the irons, I agree. So I think it's a good bet as well. I think Cam Smith in the 60s.
No chance. No.
None.
No.
He's a walking top 10 here.
And that's great. Maybe he top 10s, but
poo-poo in the potty?
I'm not a Cam Smith guy.
I know you're not a Cam Smith.
I'm not a Cam Smith guy.
Can Sergio win the Masters? He's probably
no.
Tee to green.
Sure. I just what are we talking about here? Are we talking about winning the Masters or like a good DFS play? I get the ball striking. So I'll tell you right now, that man's a fucking head case. Okay. I watched him and his entire entourage navigate Augusta last year. And I mean,
he's yellow fucking polo.
He's a fucking weirdo. And I understand the ball striking stuff. That's great. But Sergio won the Masters in 2017. And since winning the Masters, he's missed 4 out of his last 6 cuts here.
Yeah.
That's hard to do. Like if you're a good player with good course history and you hit the ball the way that Sergio does, you actually have to make an effort to miss the cut here so consistently with the way that he knows this golf course. It's disappointing. I'm not totally with Kyle there, and I may have to battle him on Wednesday night, but can I just tell you, if you want to take like a flyer on the best approach player in the world right now, has a top 25 at the Masters more recently than Sergio, like, I don't think that this guy is going to win the Masters or be a bet whatsoever, but JJ Spawn iron numbers market correct the case for Sergio. Like JJ Spawn is gained 15 strokes on approach in his last 10 rounds against better competition and has a top 25 at the Masters. So why would you play Sergio at double the ownership of JJ Spawn? That's what I don't understand. Riddle me that.
I had JJ at the Players.
You did. And Players was his week. Like he's probably going to stink this week. I'm just saying that the case for Sergio, if the case is elite iron play for Sergio, I think you can find other great iron players at lower ownership that aren't going to have their wife wear the same clothing as them. Yeah. On Thursday.
I like Harman. I think Harman's going to play well this week. I think Harman's a good DFS play. I think Harman can play well 2 weeks in a row.
I think you're insane. He's been terrible at the Masters.
He's had some finishes.
Harman?
He finished there one time, and he's a lefty.
Can I have Pendrith over Harman?
Sure. I'm not planting my flag on Harman, but I think he can play well. Phil or Reed?
Neither. I mean, Reed. Phil is not even. Okay, here's what I'm going to say about the Live guys this week. There's like 8 of them that I think are relevant at this point, right? Because now people are saying that like Phil is relevant too and stuff like that. This is, I'm fairly confident that this is going to what's going to happen with the LIV guys, because this is what's going to happen. This is what happens with the LIV guys at every single major. There's about 8 of them that are relevant. 2 of them are going to end up being really great plays. 3 of them are going to be completely mid, and they're not going to hurt you or they're going to harm you. And 2 of them are going to really stink and really let you down. And that's how it is at every single major with the LIV guys. That's how it's been. There's going to be diamonds in the rough. I remember I've had, Dean B at Valhalla, phenomenal. Patrick
And
Reed
you've also
at
had like Louis at majors, and he's absolutely murdered you.
Yeah, but I mean, that is what it's going to be with the LIV guys at this major. There's going to be 2 of them that are going to be really great plays. 3 of them are going to be whatever, and 2 of them are absolutely going to stink. I'll tell you, my 2 favorites that I would play the most are probably Neiman. I like Neiman, I think, in DFS.
Okay.
What about Brooks? Does Brooks scare you at all?
No, I think he's really dipped since he won at Wokill.
Okay.
Has not had one good major finish since Wokill. I'm sure that I just think he's got some stuff going on right now. I'm not super worried about Brooks, to be honest. Hasn't really popped on LIV. I'm not there with Brooks this week.
Can I ask you a quick question?
Yeah.
Who do you think's more likely to win the Masters, Spieth or Brooks?
I mean,
I'm going to say Brooks. I don't think that's that hard for me.
I think you kind of have to say Brooks.
Yeah. I think some would say Spieth.
And Spieth is good on odd number years. So I really like that for Spieth, so I'll give him kind of a slight.
Who do you think is more likely to win the Masters, Brooks or Neiman?
Brooks.
Okay. All right.
Pretty easy for
Just
me there.
Questions I'm asking you for me to
Is
think
Pendy
about.
a core play?
I can't give that away. The core plays last week, Brian, there was a moment where every single one of the core plays were in the top 10 on Sunday. And then Cantlay finished like T38. I don't know, man. I don't know if this is a DFS pod, but I have some thinking to do as it pertains to Rory and Scotty Scheffler. I may fade both of them, to be honest with you.
I think that would be sick. I think you should do that.
Yeah.
What's the laptop battery at? Are you gone?
I have 4%.
I think I'm betting JT. I think I'll probably bet one of Bryson and Xander.
So you're between Bryson and Xander.
Maybe, possibly. I don't think I'm betting Rahm or Cantlay. I mean Rahm or Colin, and I would like another.
Can I ask you a question between Bryson and Xander? What would need to happen in the next 24 hours for you to get the nudge that you needed on Bryson and Xander? Is it a number that you're waiting for? Is it a nuke on bookmaker? Is it an interview? Is it course conditions?
I got to listen to Xander's interview.
Okay.
And Bryson's doing an interview too. So
they both have interviews.
Like if Sticks says Bryson striping, short game putter looks good, I'm probably in on Bryson. I think Bryson 20 is a good number. I might bet Bryson, to be completely honest.
Do you think Bryson 20 is a better number than Colin 18?
With how it's going to play this year, yes.
Yeah.
Maybe.
I'm asking you the good questions, man.
Like I don't know. I'm not like there.
Yeah.
100%,
okay.
But I think that's pretty solid.
Can I ask you one more question?
Yes.
Do you think Hideki's just in bad form?
I think Hideki's just in bad form, and
okay,
it's not a place to find it.
Okay, because his form's really not all that dissimilar to the year that he won.
Yeah, but he already won the Masters. He got his Masters win. You
don't think he's a 2 major guy?
I think he's a 2 major guy potentially, but I don't think he's going to win 2 Masters. Like you really kind of historically, Jose has 2 with kind of a middling major career. Bubba has 2 with a middling major career. I don't know. There's a precedent for it, but I don't know. I don't necessarily see Decky having 2 green jackets.
Okay, fair enough. In the mid tier, can I just give you a couple names that fit my narrative that I'm thinking about, and you can just tell me, just cross them off. But Wyndham and Finau, no chance.
I think both of them have a chance.
Okay.
I think Finau can win.
Um. God, I don't know if Finau can win.
In a vacuum.
Can I ask you a question? Who do you think is more likely to win the Masters, Finau or Minwoo Lee?
Definitely Finau.
Wow. I don't know if I'm with you there, man. I think
But you just said Minwoo's not going to win back-to-back.
I know, but I
vacuum.
Still,
we're talking vacuum.
Yeah. No, I'm just, these are difficult decisions. I'm trying to talk through it with you. What do you think about Sepp? I think he's overrated.
I think the Sepp
week.
thing kind of happened.
I agree with you. Okay, what do you think about Corey Connors, Data Golf's best bet?
Number one value play.
Yeah. Does Data Golf know how wet Augusta is? That's my question.
Yeah.
Let me ask you. Well, no. Serious question though. When Data Golf puts out their stuff, do they have people on property that are like, it's a fucking deluge? The golf course is going to play 8,500 yards.
I don't know.
Me neither.
Have to ask them.
Yeah,
but I'm a fan of Data Golf. Like I know you are.
Me too. I'm a huge fan of Data Golf.
But they don't have stick.
They don't have stick. And what's the point of having people like stick if you're not gonna attack edge, right? So it's like, if I think that the golf course is going to play differently, then obviously I'm going to take that angle, and that angle usually works. And if I'm wrong, that's fine. But I would think, based on the angle that I am thinking about how this golf course is going to play, then that is more conducive to somebody like Minwoo Lee and Tony Finau than it is to somebody like Corey Connors or Seth.
Henley.
Personally, yes.
Yeah. I agree with that.
Maybe Kyle, like, honestly, maybe. I'm not ruling it out. That's the beauty of us being able to do this again on Wednesday night.
Yeah. Great Masters pod. I know you're running low on battery. I know we have some pods we have to listen to tonight that we're just ripe with anticipation for. It's been a great time at ISN. Stick's been great. Steve's been great.
Brian's been great. Kyle's been great. Okay. Rishi's been great. Everyone's been great.
It's
been a huge team effort.
Dave's
been great.
Sub to ISN. Masters going to be a great week. I'm going to get some beers in the city with some good friends, have some beers.
Are you watching with Kyle over the weekend?
Yeah, I think we're going to have some
Are you going to Oakmont?
Tickets are a lot. I got to see.
I think I can get you in.
Yeah, I'm down to go to Oakmont for sure.
Okay.
If we could swing that. It's kind of far from me, but
How far is it from the city?
It's like 6.5. You're driving maybe 5. It's far. I mean, Pittsburgh is, West Philadelphia.
God, that's far, man.
Not Philadelphia, West Pennsylvania. It's not close.
Yeah.
It's
okay.
Yeah. We'll see everyone next week. Army Heritage should be a movie.
Who's coming on for Heritage?
DJen, my guy. Andy's dead. We lost Andy. Perfect outro. We will see everyone next week for the RBC Heritage. And I hope everyone has a great night. Go Florida. I'm rooting for Florida tonight. And we'll see everyone next week.